out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes. I am outside of my local Regal Cinema, and I just got out of Python. Hands down, the best movie I have seen so far this year. Tollywood is burning up our screens, ladies and gentlemen. This movie is a hell of a lot of fun. It's basically a mashup of the Mission Impossible films, with a few other ones thrown in. But it's the good parts of all of those films. They've definitely been paying attention. Shah Rukh Khan, this is the first movie I'm seeing him in. This guy is a badass. I want to go back and watch all of his movies. I want to go back and watch everybody's movies now. This is a really good one. This is about a secret agent, and it's kind of spy versus spy. Deep Pensack, good evening. How are you? I hope it's much warmer where you are than where I am right now, because it's going to go into the 30s tonight, and we're almost there. All right. Like I said, I just got out of Python. It's the latest Hollywood movie. This movie is the best movie so far this year, hands down. It's a lot of fun. It's spy versus spy. The men are men, the women are women, and everybody kind of gets their moment in the sun. You got a villain, and who you understand how he got that way. They don't make him sympathetic, really. I mean, they do up to a point. They explain how he got to the point that he gets at the beginning of this movie, how he goes and essentially from wanting to save a country to trying to destroy it. The hero is pretty good too. I mean, you know, it's definitely a yin and yang, and of course there's a woman that is in both of their orbits. Let me see. Uh-oh. Is it a U.S. or foreign-made film? It's a Tollywood film. It's like RRR and War, and in fact, this movie is kind of a sequel to War. If you ever saw that, the Tiger Shroff film. This movie is actually the fourth in a series of like spy movies that are these kind of over-the-top action spy movies that all take place in the same universe, and they reference one another. They do reference one of the characters from War in this film. The other two movies I haven't seen, but the lead character who's in the first two films, he's in this. So it's this sort of like, I don't want to compare it to the MCU because it's much, much better than that. By the way, yeah, this movie is definitely better than a lot of the Marvel movies. But at the same time, don't get me wrong, it's kind of a superhero movie, I guess. But it's a good one. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of action. You have a villain who has kind of, you know how in Mission Impossible 3 they had the rabbit's foot? This is kind of a similar situation to that. He has this device that he can use to spread around a virus, and our hero has to track him down and stop him. And it's about all the crazy shit that he has to do along the way in order to do that. And I gotta tell you, this is like the quickest. The movie is 2.5 hours long, but it doesn't feel that way at all. It's the quickest 2.5 hours I've ever had in a movie theater. to just go ahead and rate it. This movie is worth seeing in theaters, and it's the best movie I've seen so far this year, which is, I know, kind of rough to say because this is only my third movie, but yeah, this one's going to be tough to beat. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of action. Um, it's reminiscent of the Mission Impossible films, of 80s action movies, of 90s action movies. It's over the top. There are a couple of musical numbers. But they fit seamlessly into the movie, and the music in this is really good. And you get the strong female lead, but she doesn't stop the movie to tell you that she's a strong female lead. You can just tell by, it's actions, not words. And she's smoking freaking hot too. And it's funny. Unlike the Marvel films, the jokes in this movie actually land. And everybody's a bit of a comedian in this too. It's not just a hero popping off one-liners. Everybody kind of gets their bit. And that's another thing I like about the movie is every character is kind of treated like the movie's going to be about them. And I like movies to do that. So, yeah, all right. Pathan, if it's playing anywhere near you, please go see this movie. There's a lot of action. It's funny. It's got romance. The villain is actually a threat. The hero is a guy who gets knocked down and he gets back up. And these are the kind of movies that we've been missing here in this country. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for hopping onto this impromptu live stream. I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. I got a little bit of time. It's not quite 10 o'clock here yet, or it might be just turning 10 o'clock. I'll have to see. But yeah, Pathan is very much a thumbs up. It's a recommendation. Go see it. Please go see it in theaters if it's playing near you. And one of the things that I want to do this year is to start seeing more Indian films, because here at the Regal, that's where we get the Indian films here. And they had RRR here, even though I didn't have a chance to see it. They had KGF here, which is another there are two KGF movies. I highly recommend both of them. Part 2, KGF Chapter 2 was in my top 10 last year. I haven't put a top 10 list out yet, but I'm going to very soon. I'm going to see a few other movies first before I put that out there. But yeah, Pathan, check it out. There's like I said, it's a mashup of the Mission Impossible movies. There's a little bit of Broken Arrow in it. There's even a little bit of Iron Man in it. In a way, I don't want to go too far into spoilers or anything. Let me see. I do not have my glasses on me. Oh, what happened? Sorry about that, folks. I hit the wrong button. Habib Khan, hello. And thank you for joining my impromptu live stream. I am from America, and my local movie theater is showing Pathan. It just finished about 10 or 15 minutes ago, and I just want to say I love this movie. It is very good, and I hope it's a big hit and that everybody goes to see it. Not just in your country, but also in mine, because this is a really fun, entertaining movie. And I think everybody should go out and see it, especially if you're a fan of like action films or spy movies or anything like that. If you like the previous movies in the series, because I understand there are like 3 other movies, one of which I have seen. I did see War, and I highly recommend that movie. It was in my I think it came out in 2019, and it was in my honorable mentions for that year. So it kind of the characters from none of the characters from War show up in this movie, but they are referenced. So it is very much in the vein. If you liked War, you're going to like Pathan. Hold on, let me get the. Let me see if I can get the chat back up here. I'm working with a new phone. It's kind of giving me some static. Okay. Thanks for supporting a Bollywood movie. I support any movie that's good, and this one definitely is. And I am recommending it to see in theaters. I'm sure it's probably going to wind up on Amazon at some point. So if you can't make it to the theaters, see it on Amazon, but see it in theaters, please. I understand it is on IMAX screens in a number of places. It's not on IMAX here in this theater because they have Avatar playing at my theater. And so Avatar has all the IMAX screens around here. Hello, Six. Good evening. I hope you're well. In case you're wondering why I wasn't modding the chat this evening, that's because I'm here. I went out to a night at the movies, and I went to go see Pathan. I had a poll up. Which movie should I review tonight? And I had a Pathan and Infinity Pool, and Pathan won by 1 vote, so it got in. And no worries, D-Bud was there. Good. Yeah, he's a good guy. I'm sure he kept you miscreants in line. I'll have to go back and watch the replay. But yeah, okay. Pathan, go to see it. I am recommending it. I'm giving it a 3.5 stars out of 5. It is which is my worth seeing in theater rating. And eventually, I'm going to do a video here pretty soon about my rating system, so I can explain that a little bit better. But yeah, I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5, and I very rarely give out 5-star reviews, by the way. So I would say this is like a high 7 or an 8 out of 10. It throws a lot at you at the beginning. You kind of have to catch up to where the movie is, because it throws you into the action right away. So it's kind of like, okay, you got to process it, but it finally slows down a little bit and starts to explain itself. And it does cut back and forth in time. Like one scene you're in the present, then you're 4 years later, and then you're a couple of days after, and so it's a little crazy. But you catch up to it. The editing in this movie is actually pretty well done. The visual effects, kind of cheesy in a couple of places. There are some times when you can tell, okay, that's CG or that's green screen, but it doesn't affect the movie in any negative kind of a way. It actually kind of lends to its charm, and there's like a 10-minute sequence in this where it basically turns into Under Siege 2. But that scene is great. It's probably my favorite one in the movie. Like I said, this is a movie that does borrow from not only Bollywood and Tollywood movies, but a lot of American movies too. And when you see it, you'll understand which ones they're going for. So how many stars you're going to give Python? I'm giving it I'm giving it 3.5. But I'm giving it 3.5, but it's closer to a 4 than a 3. I'm highly recommending that people go to see this in theaters, and I very rarely do that these days. Usually I say wait until it comes on video or something. But yeah. I mean, I really like this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of action. The hero's cool. The villain's cool. The female lead is outstanding. I love her to death. I want to go back and see what other movies she's been in now. I don't remember her name right offhand. I'm sorry. I don't want to mispronounce any names. But were there a lot of people in the theater with you? There were some. There were some. I mean, it wasn't a packed theater, but I haven't been in a packed theater in probably 2 or 3 years. I think the last movie that had a lot of people in it was The Black Phone. That screening was almost packed. There were a lot of people in Top Gun. There were a number of people here. I would say there were probably 10 or 12 of us in the theater, which, for a late Thursday night at this movie theater is not really bad. They were people who seemed to be mostly of Indian descent. So it was really cool, kind of being there with, that sort of an audience, because they got like the references that I didn't necessarily get, because they're like, there's a cameo in this by an actor that I'm not really aware of, because I'm seeing the guy for the first time. Salman Khan, I think is his name. I may have that wrong. Like I said, I'm seeing him for the first time, but when he shows up in this movie, everybody in that theater cheered. So, okay, they know who he is. Cool. Okay, and he plays like a really super cool character. I want the next movie to be all about him. There's this is a really good movie, man. So I'm recommending everybody go to see it. This is the best movie so far this year. Alrighty, I'm going to wrap it up. Subtitled, yes. It is subtitled, but there is some English dialogue in it that's kind of sprinkled throughout. So you don't have any hard time following. There. I don't want to say that there's not a lot of dialogue, because there is. There's like the normal amount of dialogue that you would get in an action movie, but there's it's mostly explosions and gunfire. So you don't really have to worry about the subtitles all that much. But yeah, it was subtitled, which is fine. There are some people who will say, but I don't want to read a movie, and I don't mind. I'd rather, if I'm watching a foreign language film, I would rather watch it in its original language, especially the first time I see it. So, you have to understand, that I grew up on, like Kurosawa, and then later on John Woo, and Jean-Pierre Melville movies, and so I've been watching subtitled movies ever since I was a little kid. So I don't really mind. So I used to say I hate subtitles until I watched Troll on Netflix Norwegian. Cool. I haven't seen Troll yet. That's another one that I need to, that's on my list to see. Just watch the trailer for this film. It looks like a blast of a film. It is. It is. It is a lot of fun. It's over the top. It's off the wall and off of the next wall and off a bridge and off a skyscraper and into the helicopter and back again. Love Troll, highly recommend. Cool. Okay, I'll definitely have to check that one out. Okay, so all right. Before I wrap it up, does anybody in the chat have any questions? I'll wait for you to type. But yeah, in the meantime, this movie is a recommend. Indeed, and thank you, both. I like to thank everybody who is in the chat. D Pensac 6, Habib Khan, who I'm seeing for the first time. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Everybody wants to see an entertaining movie or an entertaining TV show, and we need more like this, because this is how everybody wins. So I'm going to wrap it up. Stay strong. I'm going to see you guys later on. I believe Comics Division is probably live by now with his Thursday night throwdown. I know Midnight's Edge was on earlier, so if you missed their show, go ahead and watch the replay. I am going to get home and get warm because it's about 40 degrees out there, and it's going to get colder before the end of the night. Also, I have to work in the morning, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Go see Pathan. Thumbs up. I'm recommending it. This is how we win. Stay strong.